Where from?
Hi, I'm Andres. I'm from Colombia.
Colombia, wow.
Yeah.
And are you in London right now?
Yes, I'm in London, living right now in London with Noah.
Have you ever been to Japan before?
Yes, I did. It was 2016, 2015. I went there with my family
Oh, cool.
and I was probably like 15 or 16, yeah.
So where did you go?
So we went to Tokyo, we also went to Kyoto, and then we also went to Osaka, those three cities, yeah.
Okay, so which city do you like the most?
Tokyo,
Oh,
but then Osaka was also really nice because it did have like a more like modern vibe similar to Tokyo. That's what I liked. And then I also liked because I went to Odaiba.
Odaiba, oh.
Yeah, Odaiba was great because if you have ever seen anime, specifically I remember seeing Digimon.
Digimon.
Yeah, in Odaiba, that's where the big fight happens. Yeah.
So how was your impression of Japan before visiting?
Before visiting, for me it looked like just a really like different place, or like a really like, I guess in a way like kind of exotic, very like modern and like fun place. Oh, but it's also like really traditional right now. So I think it's I guess yeah, for me like my viewing was maybe a bit more like driven about like technology and like a really fast-paced environment. Like everyone's working, everyone's super busy. No one has time to like not work. So I guess that was my conception. Yeah.
So it was different?
Yeah, I guess I think you can still see like how, especially if you go to somewhere like Tokyo, you see how fast-paced everything is. Everyone is like super busy, and like it's of course really different from like Colombia or like the Latin culture. Everyone is like in Japan, everyone is like on their business and they're like really focused. It's not really like that in Latin America. And then I discovered more of the traditional side. We went to Kobe, and we went to like one of those like traditional hotels, which was really nice, and we wore like the kimonos and all that stuff, and it was really nice because that's a part that I wasn't too familiar with. I only thought about like the flashy anime and like how you say like I forget, like a Harajuku, that kind of stuff. So it was nice to go into like more traditional like historical things of Japan.
In Colombia, is there like something like the traditional clothes or like traditional things that people used to do?
Yeah.
Situation?
I think it's different like from Japan because it's not as Colombia is a more younger nation than Japan, and it has also been very much more affected by like colonization, neo-colonialism also. So many of Colombia's like traditions and like historic practices, I think they do have been like kind of forgotten in a way, because again there was so much changes in culture and with time and with people coming in and out. So it's still like important, and people do kind of like do it for special events, maybe like festivals and carnivals. You can see like people doing like the typical dresses, but it's like it has very much not being part of like the main culture in a way.
What brought you to Japan?
For me, I just like, of course, I'm a big fan of anime. So it was something that I found really interesting. But overall, I think I'm a person who likes to travel and who likes to enjoy new cultures. And so for me, Japan was really interesting because, again, of course, like I'm really big into like animation and like anime. But then also the food is really like the food scene is really big there in Japan, which is also a big passion of mine. And then overall, I think they have like a different way of seeing things that is very different from like Western culture and like views. So I thought it was really interesting. Like for example, like Shintoism is also like a really like different way of seeing spirituality. So I think all of that, yeah.
What surprised you the most in Japan?
It was this is gonna sound bad for Colombia, but I thought like people were so incredibly much more quieter, and then much more like well behaved, or like very much into following the rules in a very strict sense, which is not at all how Colombians do things. So that was pretty interesting to me, like how, especially because I was only like 15 or 16, it was like culturally people are like behave very different from Colombia, but in a good way. You know, there's always things you can learn from other people and the way they act. So I think it's also nice to have that comparison, or like.
Okay, so was it like a culture shock?
Culture shock? Yes, definitely. Lots of culture shock. You know, you guys also eat differently. That's also something that is interesting. You know, in Colombia, there's like or like Western cultures, we have like a lot of etiquette in how we eat. I know, like in Japan specifically, you know, you slurp your noodles, and the more noise you make is like more of a compliment to the chef, you know. But in like Western culture, you don't do that. That's rude. So that's also like interesting, the way like something that for us was so obvious in the way that we behave around food, for Japanese it's completely the opposite. So that was also like a big culture shock for me. The relationship with food is really different. Yeah.
What Japanese food do you like the most?
I'm a big fan of ramen.
Ramen.
Yeah, ramen is amazing because it's so flavorful, and it's also, you know, many cultures, they have like their own version of like a soup or something, right?
Yes.
In Colombia we do have our own version everywhere, but I don't know, ramen specifically is just a very like flavorful, very of that umami flavor is in like ramen.
Oh, do you know the word?
Of course. Yeah. Oishi, no.
Yoshi. And are you a student or working right now?
I do both. I'm a work student. I'm a worker and a student.
Okay,
Yes.
so if you have any opportunity of working in Japan, do you want to work in Japan or?
Oh, that's interesting. That's an interesting question. You know, I have a friend of my brother. She's currently, she's Colombian, and she's living there in Japan, which is of course very difficult for her, for many reasons. She has to learn the language. Japanese is crazy. You guys have 3 alphabets. We only have 1. I think that of course there's a lot of, I mean, if I'm being honest, I do feel like there is a bit of rejection, especially to like foreigners. Yeah, maybe that's too.
So yeah, you don't want to.
Yeah, I don't wanna be rude. I love Japanese people,
it's okay.
but I do feel like in a way there's always a bit of a barrier, of a culture barrier, and it of course is difficult to do that. I would love to do it just as an experience, but for me it's a bit too intimidating. But maybe that's life. Maybe you have to go even if you're intimidated about it.
Okay.
But like I love Japanese culture, and there's many things to look forward to. But yeah.
So if you have a chance to come to Japan next time, which city do you want to go?
Oh shit, I don't know. I mean, I would love to revisit all the ones that I did. So I would love to go back to Osaka, to Tokyo, to Kyoto. But I'm not sure actually which other places are good to.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe something more like nature, like hiking, something like that.
Okay, thank you. Perfect.
Yes,
Yeah.
thank you.
Thank you. Yay.
Yes, we promise we'll do that because Levi texted me